Okay, here we are in my YouTube studio. I'm actually in the studio area. I'm not at my desk that I was in earlier or yesterday or a couple days ago. So we're going to do our first little project right now, and we're going to talk about the cubes. You can't see that there, can you? Okay, we're going to talk about these little babies. These are called Inchies, and they're 1-inch cubes. You can get them on Amazon. I'll put a link in if you want to buy some, if you want to do this project. This is a kid's project, and it's low tech. It's very low tech. It's very simple. It's just glue. You can use scissors, but you don't have to. You use a punch if you like. If you don't have one, I'll put a link onto that. And then a pen if you want to square things off, and then just do it with scissors. So this is I would say for kids, maybe like 3 to 6, maybe 3 to 6 seems right. And what you do with this, I did have kids classes when I had the barn, and there was a lot of fun. Kids are very enthusiastic, and little kids, I mean, 3 to 6, they can be a little rambunctious, but it's fun to have, especially if you have one of these things. Now, if you don't know what these things are, they have punches. These are actual punches that punch out perfect 1-inch squares. They have them in different sizes as well. And this can really cut down on the time that you need to, like, if you have to cut them and figure out, cut around them and then use scissors or straight edge and all that stuff. This avoids all that. Now, the thing about this is this still needs adult supervision, because this little section in here that comes up that actually cuts the piece of paper is very sharp. So you need to watch your children with this thing. Don't leave it unattended. This could be very dangerous. So, but we're going to use this, and I'm going to show you some really neat things about this. And now, you probably don't have one. I'll put a link onto one. It's really important because I bought one years ago, and it was great. It was fantastic. And then I lost it, of course. I have so much art, I have a lot of art supplies. And then I bought another one. It was from I couldn't find my old purchase thing on Amazon, so I bought another one, and it wasn't an inch. It was like 3/4 of an inch. It said inch, but it was mislabeled. So then I bought this one, and I'll put a link for this as well on Amazon if you're so inclined. I'm not an affiliate person. If you want to buy it, you can. If you want to buy something else you think is better, that's fine too. The products that I support, that I have links for, are products that I think have been good for me using things. I'll also put a link for these little squares. Now, I don't know where I bought these a long time ago, so I will try to find the original seller. But when I bought in my previous video, when I showed you those 3-inch cubes, it was a new vendor, a vendor I hadn't used before, and they are gorgeous. They're beautifully sanded. You're not going to get any splinters, and they're perfect for any kind of paper art or gluing something on a surface. So I will, and I'm pretty sure they have Inchies there, so I will be putting their company down. And they have all kinds of sizes. They have the Inchies, they have the 2-inch, they have a 1/2 inch. They have I think they may have a 1.5 or a 2.5 inch, but that's quite beside. They do have the Inchies. So that's available. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make a cube. We're going to make one of these cubes. And I printed out some art to use. This is I got this from AI. So, and this art will be available to you as a free download on my from the description below. I'll send you over to my Google Drive, and you can download these for free. They're really nice pictures. These were kind of big, so I asked them to do ones a little smaller. So we got some smaller ones in here too. The small ones are a little better for the Inchies. Whenever you're concerned about something, just put the Inchie over something and see if it holds it. Like that elephant is a little too big. That pinwheel's fine. But there's another way of seeing what you're actually cutting out or popping out of the off the paper. So let's take one of these, and we're going to use this now. These things are great if you're doing volume and you're really used to punching, these things. And I think they're good for kids too, but there's a little bit of resistance with these. You kind of have to press hard. Sometimes you can do it like this, but there's paper in here, so it can be a little tricky. You could also, as I said, if you wanted to go low tech, if you don't want to spend any kind of money, like, I don't know how much these are. I have no idea how much these are. I can't remember. But let's say you have a little strawberry here. You just put this over the strawberry and you make a line around it, and then you can go in and you cut it with scissors. And the kids have little scissors, so they kind of learn how to do scissors in kindergarten. So if you have those children's scissors, the rounded edges, you should be pretty safe with those. And so any picture that they like, they just put this over it to see if it's in the frame, and then they can maybe just do a little pencil line or even a mark. One of these, a pen line, a pencil line. Pencil lines are nice because you can erase them. And then you can go in and either cut it or do it with this. But you don't really need to mark it with one of these, and I'll show you how that works. So we have this paper, and there's a pear down here. So we're going to look at the pear. So I don't know how this is going to come out in camera, is you see, if you hold it underneath, upside down, the paper goes inside, and there's like a little viewfinder. Let's see, there's a little viewfinder. Let's see where that is. And you see the pear. The pear is perfectly placed, and it has a little circle with it. So we like that. So we pump that out, and then we have the perfectly shaped and picture that fits right on the selfie. I mean, it's so much fun, and it's so easy for kids. And then you would, I didn't bring my wax paper with me, but when you work with your glue stick, I got this also on Amazon. It's called Moore glue stick. It's pretty good. It's a jumbo. The jumbos are nice. They're easier to handle. And what I like to do is I like to cover the top of the surface of the top and then cover the bottom. I don't have any paper here because I didn't bring all my stuff to my studio. I'll put it over here. And then I do the same with the top. That should be fine as far as sticking. When you kind of look at you want to get the corners and all sides, and you can kind of look at it in the light and see how it goes. And then you put it on top. There's a little shadow here, maybe. I don't know. And then you press it down. Just press it down. And then we have our first little pear with a little dot on it. Now you'll see this, I don't know, once you can't see it here. Maybe you can see it. I have to get used to this camera. There's a white line down here. Like I cut too high up. See this white spot here? I cut too high up. So I got that in there. Now, if that happens, you can, it's light enough that you can live with it, or you can paint it a different color. I don't know if you want to go to all that trouble. But just so you know, if there's white around the image, you may want to just adjust the image a little bit and maybe go a little higher or around the image in some kind of way. So there's our first one. Now we're going to go back in. I know this is really high tech, isn't it? I think you can manage it, though. I think the kids can manage it. Now, I see the problem. This thing can't go beyond this edge here. So I may want to cut that edge. So it gets all in the viewfinder. So you may want to have to cut that edge off. So you don't have that edge. So whenever you have an edge on the paper, you may want to cut that edge off. So the edge is here, the edge is here, the edge on top. There's a small edge, and get those edges off. Now, I have available for you the downloads of these things. They're going to be PDFs. So don't mark them up I mean, don't try to make them bigger or smaller because then they won't print right. If you want inchies, you want to work with this one or this other one. This other one's a little bit bigger though. We'll try a couple of those too. So you get this PDF. You get PDFs of each one, print it out in whatever paper you have, whatever kind you have, and when you print it out, you do not print to fit. Don't print to fit. Print to fit means it'll expand, more likely expand, and the images will get smaller. Maybe that's not the worst thing, but it's meant to be just printed as it is. So just print it and just make sure that your defaults are not set at print to fit. Because whenever you take documents that are JPEGs, PNGs, and all those, there's a concern that they could get shrunk or get bigger, and you don't want that. I'm trying to, all the handouts that I'm going to be giving you for download are, there'll be instructions not to print to fit. They should just be ready to print and you're good to go. Now, let's go back and do another one. Now, so you have your little child, your little young man who wants to be the president of the United States. And you say, well, before you become president of the United States, you got to learn your colors. So let's start thinking about our colors. So, what color do you like, young man? And he goes, I like this one. And it's the rainbow. Now, the rainbow is obviously too big for an inch. It's too big for an inch. That doesn't matter. You're really just going for the artistic view of it. So you get this artistic view. You got a little more circles up there, and the thing is you can move it around and see which one you like, which view you think is the best. I like this one right here. And you pop it, and there it goes again. There's another one. Again. So we missed the rainbow, but we have a beautiful design here. We have the white space, we have the curves, we have the little dots. This is very pretty, very nice. And so we're going to do this again. Yes, my friend, we are going to do each one together. Where is that? What did I use for? I think I was using this back one, maybe. I don't know. Let's do this one. And what you can do also is you can do a whole mess of them and just put them in front of you and then decide how you want to put them down on the block. We're going to talk about, these cubes have 6 sides, top, bottom, and there's 4 the way around, so there's 6 sides. And the cubes that we use, the ones I make, you can either go with 5 or 6. On the ones that I'm going to show you, not today, but another day, I'm going to show you that if you want to just go with the 5 where there's 1 on top and 4 on the around, you could write something on the bottom, like, for a birthday or something, or the date, or love mom, or whatever you want to put. So you can put something on the bottom. That's my phone. Okay, so it's ringing because I don't know how to turn it off. So there is that issue. Okay, so if you want to put something on the cube as a memento, you can just do 5 squares and have that 1 square be the bottom, and then write something in there. On other ones, you'll see that I put little feet on them, so they sort of sit up a little bit, which is really nice treatment as well. And then I put my name and how to get a hold of me. I mean, that's what I did do. I don't know if I'm going to do that anymore. Okay, so now we have 2 parts there, and let's look for another one. Oh, and so, okay, little Christina, which one do you like the best? Oh, I want to be a painter. Okay, let's do that one. So you go in, you look at it this way, and you could set the kids up with this, and then just kind of. Now, see, if I do the painter, you're going to get the one above it with the wheels. I don't know if I like that. I like this thing here. I don't see. Well, I'll do it anyways. I'll just do the whole painter, and there'll be some stuff on top. I don't like the way it looks, but that's okay. Okay. Now, see, You don't even have, now there's a truck here or a car here. No, it's a scooter that's up in here, but that's fine. If you turn it this way, you don't know what it is, but it's an interesting design. So, kind of teaches you, because it separates an image, it divides an image up, you get shapes, and shapes are very interesting. And kids and adults, we can all benefit by just looking at shapes. Understanding shapes and seeing shapes and being able to copy shapes is probably one of the, all your artists know how to do that. Where I'm dyslexic, and I still, I know I have to learn how to do that, and I try to learn how to do that, but it's hard for me. But shapes are really important. So if it doesn't come out perfect, but it's got color in it and it's got some design quality to it, like that black thing is here and the way it goes up, and then you have your roundedness there, I think we should go in this direction. And then you can talk to the child, the next president of the United States, the future president of the United States, or possibly the next. One can only hope. You can then put this however you want it on the. I think I would do it this way. I like this way. You don't know what it is, but it's cool. It's interesting. So we'll do this. And put this on here. I'm going to do, even though this was a person's palette, artistic palette, or whatever you call it. What do you call those things? Not an easel, it's a palette. Now, if you see this, these Inchie things with this thing here are like perfect. They are just perfect. This company knows how to do whatever. Of course, I don't know what company I used when I did these. I am going to link you to the other company because they do stuff that is just as good. If it's not perfect, don't worry about it. Just press it down. And as I said, do both the wood part and beneath the image. That's the best thing to do. Okay, let's do another one. I'm getting into this. Now over here, there's all these ones here, but again, we want to cut off that selvage, the white. We don't need that because it'll stop the hole punch from going in that direction. So cut those off. The link to these pictures will be in the below in the description and in the comments section. It'll be pinned. So I have a lot of, I will be giving away, I'll be sharing my images and stuff that I do things with. If you're so inclined to use my images, you certainly can use your own. Another reason why this is low tech is that you're not doing the art. The art is done for you already. This is the cleanest thing you can do with a kid. Let me tell you. You want to make a apple pie? That is a mess. A chocolate cake? That's a mess. This is not a mess. This is a stick of glue, a punch, and some paper. Come on. Anyway, so that's the way that goes. So I see this great cupcake over here with a lot of frosting. That is a lot of frosting. And it's going to go down against it, but it's going to also, I want to get more of the top on it. So I'm going to cut this not in full shape. So here's I can't see if you can see this or not. I just took half of the cupcake, but you see you see the ridges on the side of the paper of the cupcake, and you see the frosting and the little cherry on top. Again, this is not brand surgery, but so what would you do with these? This is the thing that I love about these things. Now, okay, the other thing I want to mention, you can put them in any direction you want. You want to put them all in the same direction. At some point, if you're doing all 6 sides, one of them will be off. But if you mix and match them, if you're just thinking about design-wise, I think it's good to have them in, don't even think about the order they're in. Someone who's a little OCD may feel otherwise, though, but I don't worry about what their order is in. Now, this one, for some reason, feels a little bit... Okay, that goes. Sometimes you have to move them around a little bit. And if you're working with, little kids, however they do it, just push it down. And, if you need to, adjust it a little bit, then you should do that. because you're the adult in the room, apparently. And now we have this little ladybug here, but I see there's no bottom here, so it's going to go up into this section. I'm not so sure about that. And, oh, there's a pretty little wolf's face. Let's see how much of that face we can get. And as you start going into the, from the outside into the inside, you'll have more options. Let's see, I'm going to do this upside down. Again, I don't know what you're seeing because Chris just set this up for me, and I'm not sure if you can actually see what I'm doing, but you can certainly see the final result. And so I ended up getting the perfect head of the fox. And again, we're going to do this again. Do the bottom first. And then do the top. You can use any kind of glue you like. I mean, you can use, Elmer's has a good extra strength glue that's really good for collaging kind of things. This is kind of like a collage. And, but you can also use Mod Podge or, I don't know, gel medium. Artists have a lot of this stuff hanging around the house. If you go to the dollar store and you get a liquid, you can use the liquid. The thing is with this, it's better for the kids. There's no mess, no fuss. And we're going to do our last one right now. Okay, what are we going to get today? What are we going to get next? There's some clouds. Oh, there's a nice... Oh, there's a nice moon there, but it's inside. Okay, so I'm just going around the edges here. Now, there's a nice fish here, and there's a nice, what do you call that? Robot. Old school, man, old school. Now, let's say I just want to get that robot out of there. I could just cut the piece. Cut that out. We're not going to be able to get that arm in anyways. So when you look at something, the design, you can kind of see, I can see this part. I'm not going to worry about the arm. I'm not going to worry about the leg. Let's see if this... Now, it's not on a bigger sheet of paper, so sometimes it's harder to look at them and then punch them. But you go in any kind of way you like. If you can go in sideways, that's fine. Okay, I'm getting that part in. So, I don't know what you're seeing. Okay. And this is what we ended up. A little robot head with little circles. I love circles. Do you love circles like I love circles? I love circles. And so we're going to put this down. This could be the bottom, or this could be the top, because that's the other beauty of squircles. I did squircles. Those are my circle girls were squircles. They had circular faces and too much to go into right now. So we put that in there. Now the other thing about working with paste, someone said this along the way that I was working. Oh, there's too much paste on that face of that thing. Is when you're pasting something, sometimes it's good to move it around, like move it up and down beyond where it's going to stay. Just that friction of moving it back and forth will make it a stronger adhesion. Okay. So there we have our first cube. I don't know how long that took me. Well, I have no idea, but I will find out. This could be the top. Or this could be the top. Or this could be the top. What child wouldn't want a pear as the top of their cube? Okay, that was not a great idea. There's a little robot guy, old school robot. This is a little edge here. As far as the edges, I mean, I won't worry, but this actually can be moved over a little bit more. Once you get it down, though, sometimes it's hard to move again. So we're going to just leave that there. And this, I'm not sure what that is. That's abstract. That's a rainbow, but it's kind of abstract as well. And there is my favorite thing, a cupcake. And you could have a little container for all your cubes. This is, I didn't bring the top. This is a saffron container. Spanish food people, companies put a lot of things in tins. They're very colorful. The top is over near my desk. So you just put this back in and you have a nice little collection of your little cubes. You should wait before, let them sit overnight. I mean, they're a little sticky because when you're working with them and you get glue on your fingers, you know, they're going to get sticky, and then you want to just let them sit. With these, I would not coat them at all because they're small, and you don't really need to coat them. This paper is pretty good paper, and when you use copy paper, that's okay too. Sometimes copy paper, though, it kind of gets stuck in these punches. This one's relatively new, so I think it can handle anything. And so if you have a brand new one, it'll handle anything. Again, you don't need this. In fact, you don't even need pictures. You can do this right off the bat, but you do need your squares. So if you're in a little tight situation with your financial situation, you do need the cubes. I put these in my art. Like I do assemblage art. I also do 3-dimensional art, and these are nice to put in anywhere. It's just a little pop, and it changes the plane of the art piece. So these are great. I love these things. Now, a child, where can you put this in a children's room? Of course you can. You can put it right in your child's room, the little desk there, the little bedside table. You could show them their art in the living room and the little on a coffee table. Say, look what our future president of the United States did today. And they'll say, my God, he did that? Yes, he did. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, I'll put the link for this and the papers, but you can use, as I said earlier, maybe I didn't finish my thought. You can use any papers anywhere. If you want to, you can use probably comics. I don't know, but if you're going for something more abstract, like you don't want little pictures in there, you could just get a magazine and start punching at random and see what comes out of it, and then pick and choose from there, or we actually do some little art on there. So you don't have to be restricted to pictures like this. You can just use any kind of magazine or any kind of paper or any kind of images, and you don't have to, like with this rainbow here, or with this palette, the paint palette, and then the truck, you don't know what that is, and you don't know what that is, but it's cool, visually interesting. And a child, it'd be interesting to see what a 3-year-old says about this. So what is this? And I'll tell you something. The child will tell you what it is. Maybe not what you think it is, but they'll say, well, this is a tire, or this is a heart. They'll see the shapes. They will. It's the beauty of being young before it all begins. Okay. Have a great day.